where do you feel like you've grown in, in-game adjustments, conversation with the coaching staff as you try to work things out, mid-game? Where do you feel like you've grown the most in?
Yeah, I think like you said, I think just being able to adjust on the fly. When we've gotten out there versus these first three opponents, we haven't had a ton of tape to game plan on and a ton of tape that we can, bank. They're going to run this, they're going to do this against this formation, etc. So those first three drives, I think my experience from the past few years, and now obviously we have iPads on the sideline. I have better communication with Kirby, Coach Drink, and just having that, we're able to adjust better on the fly. We're able to see what they're doing pretty quickly in the first couple of drives and make adjustments. So I think that's definitely one area I've gotten better at.
Brady, anything in your football career prepare you for 2nd and 59?
No. Yeah, that was crazy. Obviously we ran the ball. Nate almost broke it there on 2nd and 59. But obviously penalties put us in that situation. So it's funny to talk about. But at the end of the day, I mean that was a pretty important drive in that game. And 2nd and 59 isn't going to help us much. So we definitely got to clean it up. But no.
Maybe you strike that balance between keeping a fire and keeping the players fired up, but also avoiding the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, I think there's a fine balance between it. It's a passionate game. We're giving everything we have, and when you make plays or someone gets under your skin, it's pretty easy to fire back. But at the same time, you got to have that balance of discipline and being able to tune it out and just move on, because whenever it starts to hurt your team, then it becomes a negative.
What's your job as a captain and a leader this week when talking about reducing the penalties and some of the stuff Coach Drink was just talking to us about?
Yeah, I think it starts with emphasizing it in practice. My job as the quarterback is, at least pre-snap to make sure everybody's where they need to be, make sure the play gets off right, make sure there's no pre-snap operation mistakes, and that'll eliminate a lot of it. And then just staying on everybody. If there is a mistake in practice or a penalty in practice, making sure, I make a point to talk to them about it, make sure it doesn't happen again. And like I said, I think it just starts in practice.
Brady, how much do you think this offense, or how much better do you think this offense can be? What are the next steps to reach that level?
Yeah, I don't think we've scratched what this offense can be. I really don't think we have. Obviously we all know it. We haven't had as many explosive plays as we should. It starts with me. I think it really starts in practice. Tuesday and Wednesday we need to get better reps on explosive pass plays and make sure we're repping these at full speed and getting our timing right and getting extra after practice. We can't just assume we're going to show up on Saturday and hit these explosive passes. So there's a lot left to put on tape. We haven't put a lot on tape, so we need to keep growing, keep getting better, and it starts today, Tuesday, making sure we're connecting on these.
You mentioned you haven't put a lot on tape. Have you and Kirby talked about how often good ball is being called, about how long? I think there was only 3 passes that went 20 yards or more downfield on Saturday. Have you talked to Kirby about that?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it. At the end of the day, he's calling the game on what he sees, and he's done an awesome job. And he did mention he wants to give me and the offense more opportunities on 1st and 2nd down. So that's one point he made, which I think that's good, and that will help a lot to give us some more opportunities. But I think I'm by no means am I an offensive coordinator, so it's hard to speak to that. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that go into it, calling games, making sure you're calling the right plays, staying in control of the game. What is the defense doing? What are we gashing them on? So there's a lot of things that go into it, but he did mention more opportunities on 1st and 2nd down instead of 3rd.
I'm sure you guys had full faith in Blake all off season, but how big a difference does it make to go out and actually see him do what he did on a kick that looked like it might have been good from about 70?
Yeah, that was crazy. He just ran out there and he booted it. He drilled it. It hit midway on the net. There was really never a doubt. It looked like in his eyes running out, and then obviously his celebration after. So we have a ton of confidence in Blake, and that's nice to know. 2-minute drives. That kick line move back a little bit, so that helps out the offense.
Brady, it seems like for you, in terms of tenths of seconds, the ball's coming out a little bit quicker for you this year. Is that something that is an intentional change for you, or by scheme things, or what do you think might be leading to that?
Yeah, I think it's just, really knowing where I'm going pre-snap, understanding the concepts better, really just not holding the ball as long. If I'm able to identify what the defense is doing, and I know the concept like the back of my hand, and I know where the ball needs to go, ideally it comes out very, very quick. So obviously it's early, we've only played 3 games, so things change and concepts change, and prepping for defenses change, so the numbers could change, but at the end of the day, yeah, we have gotten the ball out pretty quick first 3 games.
With that more broadly, how do you kind of sense the passage of time when you're in the quarterback? Is it something that you feel beats or count in your head? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, you're not really thinking about it, but you can just kind of feel it. Whenever you get the ball in your hands from the snap, there's kind of like an internal time clock, and whenever it kind of hits that moment, you're like, okay, I've been here a little long. I need to see what's going on or get out of here. But it's really not something you think about. Just playing quarterback for so long, you get used to that internal time clock, and either getting out of the pocket, scrambling, or getting the ball out of your hand.
Are Blake and Beavis similar at all? What are the similarities? What are the differences?
It's hard to compare. Thicker kicker and Craig the leg. They're pretty unique in their own ways, I'll give you that, but they both have a big leg and they're both pretty accurate.
Brady, how much of a relief is, the run game to you, especially in these first couple games while you guys are still trying to figure out the deep ball and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's huge. You just look at the first couple drives versus Boston College. We were gashing them on outside zone. Nate and Marcus are creasing it and making cuts on the third level defenders, and that's huge. That's how you start drives, sustain drives, and really wear down defenses.
On your touchdown run, Nate Noel said after the game he didn't know you had that move in you. Have you not shown that off in practice before?
I don't know. I guess not. I guess I don't get touched a lot in practice. I guess defenders aren't coming quite as fast at me in practice, so maybe not. I guess I just kind of go out there on Saturday and get to show everybody.
Brady, have you noticed at all with a full season of tape for defense to able to view? Have they been doing anything different, and does that play at all in a factor to the limited deep passes?
Did you say for who?
For defenses to have a full season of tape with Kirby's scheme for you guys' offense, has that benefited them at all, and have they been running anything different against you guys?
As far as prepping for the defenses?
No, so for opposing defenses, since they have a full season of film to watch, have they been running anything different in game?
Yeah, I think, ideally if you're prepping for a team, the more tape, the better. You get an idea of tendencies, formations, what they run out of this, what they run out of that. I think that could play into it maybe, but not necessarily. Kirby does an awesome job of switching up formations and motions and different ways to run things to where it's very, very hard to game plan for. So at the end of the day, I think it just comes back to the flow of these first few games, what we needed to do, what Kirby needed to call, and then at the end of the day, executing in practice and just continuing to get better.
Have you thought any about the legacy that you're kind of leaving here? 7,000 yards passing, 8,000 yards total offense, about ready to become the record holder for most games with a rushing and passing touchdown. Have you allowed yourself to go there at all?
Not really. I'm sure I will at some point. Maybe I think bye weeks are always good for a little reflecting, so I know that's coming up, but we're so in it right now. The season is so busy, you're so engulfed in everything, whether it's, Sunday, getting your body right, Monday, right back to prep, Tuesday and Wednesday, you're in it, Thursday and Friday, you start getting those butterflies, and then you play again and you repeat it. So you're so engulfed in it, it's hard to think about anything outside of, how do we beat Vanderbilt? How do I throw touchdowns versus Vanderbilt? How do I make sure we're in the right call versus this? It's hard. But I do hear it. I know it's there, and I'm sure I'll get some time to reflect on it soon.
Brady, Coach was saying that the biggest thing to grow on this week is obviously how you guys won that game, overcoming adversity. What do you feel like you can grow on, going into a tough league play as well?
Yeah, like you said, the coolest thing was just how, we got down 14-3 quick. I think we had one possession offense in the first quarter, and, you know, really no one flinched. You couldn't see a difference in our sideline, a difference in the guys' eyes and their energy, and that's what I'm most proud of too, is we didn't flinch. I think that's gonna help us down the road for sure. We're gonna be in more adverse situations. We're gonna be in a lot tougher games. So that experience right there, that's gonna go a long way. And then, you know, we have a big opponent this week in Vanderbilt, first SEC game. You know, we need to go out there and take care of business, and it starts today in practice. We need to have energy like any other game, and we need to prepare. We gotta go get this one done.
Appreciate it.